Trigger warning. Ghosts, ghouls, and gruesome stuff ahead. It's weird. It's dark. It's your kind of vibe. Welcome to Haunted and Homicidal, the podcast where true crime meets the paranormal. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Courtney. Every week we uncover the terrifying, the twisted, and the totally unexplainable. Lock your doors and grab your sage.
Because things are about to get haunted and homicidal. Hey guys. What's crack-a-lackin'?
Oh wait, we started.
Yeah. I'm trying something new.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know what we're doing.
We're recording. Well, welcome. Are you new here? Hello?
Hello?
Okay. So how has your week been? Well, yeah.
Yeah. It's been long. Long week.
Yes.
Long week.
I agree. I was in the hospital on Saturday from a spider bite, and I had to get it lanced, and lidocaine fucking sucks.
Ooh.
It burned so bad. I was coming up off the bed, and the doctor was like, I need you to stop moving. I'm like, it burns. She said, I told you it was going to.
Like, what do they expect you to do? Like, if you just lay still and all that shit's going through you?
I guess so. Yeah, so that's not fun. I have to remove the packing today, which I am not looking forward to. Scared to death that it's going to hurt or it's going to be like one big gaping. She had to cut, she cut it pretty deep and like a lot. It was like a big slice. So,
Did you get anything out?
A little bit. I think I'd gotten most of it out before I went in, because I took like the little poker pimple popper things and stabbed it, and squeezed it. But my concern was that it was almost the size of a softball on my leg. So I had to, needed antibiotic. And the antibiotic is fucking horrible. It gives me a headache. It makes me dizzy and nauseous. It's not.
My sister had to get one for her spider bite.
An antibiotic? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So.
And then apparently her tetanus shot was out of date, so she could get another tetanus shot. When did I? I think I got a tetanus shot when I had cat scratch fever this time last year. Yeah, because
almost
I guess
this
they're
time
only
last
good
year.
for
7 years.
10 years?
7 to 10 years, yeah.
So hers was outdated.
But we're going to go ahead and get into today's murders.
Murder.
I am going to be covering the Cleveland torso murders. And I'm going to say up front that it is unsolved.
Torso? It's just a torso?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All they find are torsos?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
This was called the Mad Butcher of Kingsbury Run, and it is, like I said, officially unsolved. Kingsbury Run is a prehistoric riverbed running from the flats to about East 90th Street in Cleveland. It was a dark and dangerous place due to the Great Depression, and it doesn't seem like it's gotten too much better, at least not since until the 1950s at least. The killings are characterized by dismemberment and disposal of the remains in an impoverished neighborhood in Kingsbury Run. Most of the victims came from an area east of Kingsbury Run called the Roaring Third or the Hobo Jungle.
So they were pretty much homeless people?
Derelicts of society, yeah. Lived in shanties. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Known for its bars, gambling dens, brothels, and vagrants. The official number of murders attributed to the Cleveland torso murderer is 12, but recent research shows it could be as many as 20.
That's a lot.
Possibly more. The 12 confirmed were killed between 1935 and 1938. There were 7 men and 5 women. They were all dismembered and decapitated. They all seemed to be transient or derelicts living in shanty towns on the fringes of society.
You telling me they haven't been able to find nobody?
Mm-mm. They have theories, but they could never prove it.
Oh, that's nice.
I actually have a book on it up there somewhere.
Oh yeah, you do have books.
The dismemberments were carried out with surgical precision, which led to, investigating policemen to surmise that the murders were committed by one singular person rather than multiple people. And that person, they suspected, had a significant knowledge of anatomy.
That person had nothing better to do, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, it's reminiscent of, like, Black Dahlia, which... we talk about in this case also a little bit, and we'll cover Black Dahlia later on. The police department put detectives Peter Marilow and Martin Zaleski on the case full time. They frequented the Run and the Roaring Third, often dressed as vagrants while off duty, to kind of see like if anybody would approach them, you know, or if they could collect any information, because these types of people didn't often talk to police like that. They didn't trust them.
Yeah.
So they dressed up as their kinfolk and tried to get some information. By the time the case had run its course, the two had interviewed more than 1,500 people, and the department as a whole more than 5,000.
And nobody knew nothing.
Nobody knew anything, and this case is still unsolved.
That's just great.
Yeah, it's
that's fantastic.
It's weird. Some investigators, including lead detective Peter Marilow, believed that there were more victims in the Cleveland, Youngstown, and Pittsburgh areas between the 1920s and the 1950s. So they're thinking before and after these specific 12 murders happened, there were more that they're wanting to try to link to this person. The torso murderer always beheaded and often dismembered their victims. Most male victims were castrated.
He said, okay.
Yeah. Some victims showed evidence of chemical treatment applied to their bodies, making their skin red, tough, and leathery.
Ew.
The heads of the victims were usually mainly undiscovered. Like, they could never find the heads. That's why they're called the torso murders.
What the hell did he do to the heads?
We'll find out.
Oh, God.
So, because of that, it made the bodies very, very difficult to identify.
Oh, that's great.
Especially in the 1930s. Like, DNA was probably not even a thought in anybody's head at that point.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't do dental records because there was no head. Couldn't do facial reconstructions because there was no head. Pressure from Mayor Harold Burton caused Elliot Ness to get more involved. Coroner Pears called for what the newspapers dubbed a quote-unquote torso clinic. And it was basically a meeting of the police, the coroner, and other experts to discuss information and to quote-unquote profile someone who could be responsible for these killings.
Well,
so in the 30s, I guess criminal profiling, quote-unquote, was probably in its infancy, but it was a thing because that's what they were trying to do. Elliot Ness was the leader of the Untouchables, which was a special agent group of the U.S. Bureau of Prohibition, quote-unquote dry agents, and he was serving as Cleveland's public safety director, which was a position with authority over the actual police department itself. He contributed to the arrest and interrogation of one of the prime suspects, Dr. Francis Sweeney, and personally conducted raids into shanty towns and eventually burned them down.
Sweeney Dodd.
See, I think this is the guy, in my opinion.
Sweeney Dodd.
And you'll find out why I think this is the guy. His reason for burning down the shanty towns was to catalog fingerprints and easily identify any new victims out of the area in an attempt to stop the murders. August 18th of 1938 at 12:41 a.m., Ness and a group of 35 police officers and detectives raided the homeless encampments in Kingsbury Run. 11 SWAT cars, 2 police vans, and 3 fire trucks rolled in. They gathered up 63 men, and at dawn, the officers searched the shanties for clues. Then, on orders of Ness, the shacks were set on fire and burned to the ground.
We ride at dawn.
The police did this.
I know.
To people's homes.
It's a quote.
I know. But the police burned down houses after they investigated looking for clues, found none, and decided...
why they burn them down?
They just decided these people don't need houses. I don't know.
But
they burned them down.
But then you're going to have the issue of them... What?
Yeah, I don't know. They burned, and it wasn't all of them. They burned the shanty towns down to the ground.
But then you're gonna bitch about about them being on the street, being on what the hell?
I don't know. It makes no sense to me, but this is what they thought they should do, so this is what they did. August 22nd, 1938, which was just 4 days after they burned down the shanty towns, Ness launched an operation where he personally dispatched 6 two-man search teams on a large area of Cleveland, stretching from the, I'm going to mess this up, Cuyahoga River to East 55th Street to Prospect Avenue under the guise of conducting city fire inspections. While it did not produce any new information about the Torso murders, it did shed light on the inadequate and unsanitary living conditions in the downtown area. I guess of the places that they hadn't burned down yet.
My eyes twitching.
I know this story is.
My eyes twitching.
This one's rough because
It's twitching.
not only did they not find anything, this was like the shoddiest police work I've ever.
That's why they didn't freaking find anything. They're doing all this shit.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Oh, my eyes twitching.
But the teams did uncover hundreds of families living in hazardous fire traps without toilets or running water.
Aww.
Yeah, and families, like kids were involved in that.
That's so sad.
At one point, the Torso murderer taunted Elliot Ness by placing the remains of 2 victims in full view of his office at City Hall.
He's mocking him at that point.
He was, yeah. He's like, you can't catch me. And he knows he knows. He knows he's leaps and bounds ahead of the police department. And they've got no clue. The man who Ness believed to be the killer would later also provoke him by sending postcards to Ness.
Oh, he's taunting him now, too. Oh,
100%.
Snap.
All right, so now we're going to get into the victims.
Can I have the back scratcher, please?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
See, it's a good investment.
I have one. I left it at home.
So now we're going to get into the victims. Edward Andrassy, age 29, when discovered on September 23rd of 1935 in a gully at the base of Jackass Hill.
Wait, that's a real name?
Yeah.
That's like it's legit name.
That's where I live. Jackass Hill.
Okay.
Hello. Okay. Where East 49th Street dead ends into Kingsbury Run. His head was found near the rest of his body.
Where's your baby, Misha?
And he was found to be emasculated and only wearing socks. So this is one of the few whose head was found. That's how they were able to really identify him.
So he was wearing nothing but socks.
Mm-hmm. Castrated. Yeah. An autopsy report stated that Andrassy was decapitated in the mid-cervical region with a fracture of the mid-cervical vertebrae. The coroner also noted that he had rope burns around his wrists. He'd been dead for about 2 to 3 days before the discovery. So he was tied up and tortured and killed.
So basically. Can they tell if he was dead before they're decapitated? Like at all? Like if any of the torsos?
I'm sure they can, but it didn't like mention any of that.
Okay, because that would suck if they're still alive of being decapitated.
I think based on like the blood pattern, well, I mean, it's difficult, I would think, in these situations because they weren't killed where their bodies were placed.
Yeah.
I think like maybe one was because there was like no blood.
Okay.
So they wouldn't really, I don't think they'd be able to tell if they were decapitated while they were still alive or if the decapitation came after they were already deceased. But I would think in a normal situation, if the body remained where it was, they could tell by blood spatter.
Yeah.
You know, if they're already dead, you know, their veins aren't pumping, so you wouldn't get it like...
Yeah, not a really big
blood
spatter.
I mean, I think the only thing that would make the blood spatter larger would be just the motion of like an axe or something if they're using that. The second was John Doe number 1. Decapitated remains of another white male were located in weeds at the foot of the East 49th Street and Praha Avenue next to Andrassy. So they found 2 people at the same time. One they could identify, one they couldn't.
Because one still had his head.
Oh, yeah. The victim's body was saturated with oil and set on fire after death, causing its skin to become reddish and leathery. The victim's body hair had also appeared to have been shaved off completely. I don't know what that would indicate, but that's what happened.
The hell?
The third, Florence Polillo, age 44, when she was discovered at 2315 to 2325 East 20th Street. She was found dismembered and had been wrapped with paper and packed into a half-bushel basket, but her head was never discovered.
Wait, so how do they know who she was?
I'm not sure. It doesn't say.
Oh.
Some they could still identify, like missing people or whatever, like
okay.
if maybe they had a tattoo or like
yeah,
something
okay.
like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
The autopsy report stated that her cause of death was a slit throat. Due to no head, the coroner could not definitively rule her death a homicide. So
if
this
she ain't got no head, how you gonna know it's a slit throat?
Because she has no head. They cut her off at the throat. So they're assuming that losing her head is what killed her.
So she would have been.
Yeah. So, I mean, this one, they're saying she was still alive when the head came off. Because that's what killed her. Yeah, yucky. Number 4 is John Doe number 2. He was killed June 5th, 1936. A decapitated torso of an unidentified man was located between the New York Central and the Nickel Plate Road tracks next to an old freight shed in front of the Nickel Plate Road Police Building. The head was found near the Shaker Heights Rapid Transit tracks. The body was nude but unmutilated and found only about 1,500 feet away from the head, where there was no blood on the ground. So again, it indicated that he was killed somewhere else and the body was dumped. A rail worker testified that the head was not in the vicinity at 3 p.m. that day, and an eyewitness described seeing a late model Cadillac close to the crime scene at about 11 p.m. that same night.
Wait, so even with his head, they couldn't tell who this was?
No. I guess nobody claimed like missing persons. Nobody knew of anybody.
Dang.
But yeah, they couldn't identify that guy. So it sounds like the body was dumped, and then like hours later, the head was dumped.
It might not even been his head.
It
could have been someone else's head.
It might not have been, but the likelihood of that at this point probably is slim.
Unless he's really taunting them, be like, you know what? I'm gonna give you mixed victims.
Yeah, I mean, and that, that makes me physically nauseous. Oh goodness. Physical evidence of the decapitation suggested it had been done while the victim was alive, and the autopsy report stated that the body was drained of blood. The head had been cut off between the first and second cervical vertebrae. There was no evidence of drugs or alcohol in the victim's system, and nothing to suggest that he had been tortured or bound before being killed. The victim had 6 tattoos and was dubbed the Tattooed Man. So even with that, and they did post, I think they posted pictures of him, and I want to say he's like in a museum somewhere. Not him, but like a body replica.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and nobody has ever been able to identify him.
Oh, wow.
And so the next one was John Doe number 3, July 22nd of 1936. The severely decomposed, decapitated remains of a male was located near a homeless camp in the Big Creek area of Brooklyn, west of Cleveland. This was the only known West Side victim of the torso murderer. Police conducted a thorough investigation of the area, and they did find the man's head, but it was a skull at this point. With cheap bloodstained clothing found nearby, pathologists discovered a large quantity of dried blood that had seeped into the ground beneath the man's body, indicating that he was killed at that location. Here's my problem. The torso murderer, not one thing other than the decapitation or the removal of the limbs is consistent with this guy. Some he killed elsewhere. Some he killed on the spot. Some he left the heads. Some they never found the heads.
So are they really sure it's one person?
I don't know.
Because at this point, it sounds like it was like a group of people.
And one of them could have been like copycat killers, you know? So yeah, they never fucking find out. So, but again, sometimes the MO is to have no MO.
That's true.
You know, if you have several murders, which most of the time they are very consistent, they follow a path. But if you don't want to get caught, you can make each murder completely different.
So this
outside of like the decapitation and whatever.
So this guy, girl, whoever,
person
really would have had to know what they were doing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They like had this shit planned.
Oh yeah, for sure. The advanced state of decomposition made it impossible to get any fingerprints, and searches of missing persons reports were unsuccessful. So this is the main reason they weren't able to find a lot of people or identify a lot of people. Either just the fingertips or the fingerprints were not viable, or there were no missing person searches. So they kind of chucked them to the side and just said, well, okay, bye, move on to the next.
Of course.
Yeah. John Doe number 4. A homeless person discovered 2 halves of a male torso and lower legs floating in a stagnant pool near East 37th Street while waiting for an eastbound freight train that he could hop. The torso was removed and sent to the morgue, where the coroner noted that the body had been severed between the 3rd and 4th cervical vertebrae, as well as the 3rd and 4th lumbar vertebrae. The police did find a dirty felt hat with bloodstains on it that had a label of Loudy Smart Shop, Bellevue, Ohio, during their search of the area, along with the blue work shirt covered in blood that was wrapped in a newspaper along the bank of the creek where the body was found. Fire crew dredged the water looking for the rest of the body. The head was never found.
What?
This is like...
What you mean his torso was halved? Like he was cut in half again?
No, he was just cut in half. So like the upper torso was found and then his legs.
Oh.
Yeah, like cut. Like, have you seen Ghost Ship?
It's been a hot minute since I've seen it.
Okay, like at the very beginning when that wire cuts through people. Like that, like right in the middle. Yeah. I love that movie, by the way. It's one of my favorites. The head was never found. The kidneys and the stomach were also removed, as were his genitals. So again, something new. The decapitation's the same. The cutting them in half is the same, being just torsos. Not finding the head is the same. Possibly removing the genitals is the same. But now we're adding kidneys and stomachs.
My eyes twitching?
Yeah, this one was a little rough for me. The next one was Jane Doe number 1, February 23rd of 1937. The upper portion of a female victim was found washed up on Euclid Beach on 156th Street. The arms, legs, and head were never found, likely because they were less buoyant than the torso and sank to the bottom of the lake, possibly have been consumed by fish or whatever is in the lake. Nessie. Loch Ness Monster, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, this one's rough, man. This one is really rough, and especially because it's unsolved. 3 months later, the lower half of the torso washed ashore at East 30th Street. The upper extremities were disarticulated at the level of the glenoid fossa, which is your shoulder joint socket.
Oh, okay.
The neck and head were disarticulated between the 7th cervical and 1st thoracic vertebrae. There were multiple hesitation knife marks on the surface of the skin that were present.
So he struggled with this one.
He struggled with this one. Okay. Which again, I don't know.
So either this one was a copycat, or he knew this person and was having issues.
Possibly, or he was just trying to throw the police off.
That too.
Because he was taunting and teasing Ness, the lead detective, and I don't know this. It's confusing, like really confusing. Considerable water and gravel had been found in both pleural cavities, which is the lungs, indicating the victim was drowned before being dismembered. So again, another new thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Jane Doe number 2. I don't know if it's June 9th or June 6th because I put June 96th. Of 1937, yeah. The body found beneath the Lorraine Carnegie Bridge lying in a rotting burlap bag along with the newspaper from June of 1936. Partial skeleton of a female who had been dead approximately 1 year. Tentatively identified as sex worker Rose Wallace, who vanished August 21st of 1936, but it was never confirmed. So that's why they're saying Jane Doe, because they couldn't confirm that it was Rose.
I'm going to go with yes.
I mean, it could be. John Doe number 5, July 6th of 1937. The upper portion of a man's torso wrapped in a burlap sack for chicken feed, plus his 2 thighs, were discovered floating in the Cuyahoga River in the Cleveland Flats just below Kingsbury Run. Head, internal organs, and his heart were never found.
What?
Yeah. You look real confused right now.
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Because at this point, he's just taking random shit.
Yeah, and that's why I think...
And just doing random shit.
I think it probably wasn't one person. I think maybe they were working together.
I would think so. And one person was like, oh, I want the freaking insides. And one person's like, oh, I just want to cut.
Yeah, well, like I said, when we're going to get to the suspects, I think one of them's a real good one. Real good. Jane Doe number 3, April 3rd of 1938. A woman's leg was located in the Cuyahoga River in the Cleveland Flats. A month later, on May 2nd, 2 burlap bags containing a woman's nude bisected torso, thighs, and feet were discovered floating in the river to the east of the West 3rd Street Bridge. Her head and her arms were never found. This was the only victim to have anything in their system, and she had morphine in her system. Kind of like Hattie Whitten, where she went crazy on morphine.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess in the 1930s, which is around that time.
So either they drugged her or she was on drugs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She was the only one, though, out of like all 12 of these victims. She was the only one found to have anything in her system. Jane Doe number 4, August 16th of 1938. A dismembered body was found at the end of the East 9th Street by men combing for pieces of scrap metal. The body was wrapped in rags, brown paper, and cardboard. Uncharacteristically, however, the head and the hands were found with the body.
So they just cut off the legs?
They cut off, well, they decapitated her and took her hands, but it was all together packaged in this cardboard box. Yeah. So it was uncharacteristic of the murderer. So the more and more we talk about it, the less and less I believe it was just one single person.
No.
I think it was several people.
Yes. At
least 2, at minimum. And then the last confirmed victim of the torso murderer is John Doe number 6. His body was discovered at a nearby location on the Cleveland lakefront in plain view of Safety Director Elliot Ness's office at City Hall. So that's the one we had talked about earlier.
He said, okay.
Yeah. His head was severed from his body, disarticulated at the level of the 3rd intervertebral disc, and had knife marks on his dorsum, which is his back, and on the 2nd and 3rd cervical vertebrae, extremities, and all the major joints were also disarticulated. So he cut all the limbs off at all the major joints. So arms were cut at the shoulders, legs were cut at the hips.
So he definitely had to know anatomy.
Yeah. That's what they're saying. They're thinking it, well, like I said, we'll get there. So these are possible victims. These were never confirmed to have been the same.
Okay, so he would cut off the dude's junk, but they won't.
Not everyone, not all of them, just some of the men.
But they didn't cut any of the boobs or anything off women.
He didn't do any of that. No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't like Jack the Ripper. He didn't cut the breasts off or anything like that. He just castrated the men.
Okay.
Which, wondering if maybe it wasn't possibly a female.
No. Maybe. Because
they are just killing the women and dismembering them. They're not mutilating them like they're mutilating the men.
So either, so if it's 2 guys, they probably have issues.
Oh, whether or not it's guys or girls, they fucking have issues for sure.
If one's a girl, she probably has anger issues at the men.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it could possibly be a woman because, yeah, she's killing women too, but she's not like mutilating them. Like,
yeah,
they're mutilating the men. The men are getting their penises and their balls cut off. So and the females are just,
the men are the real issue, apparently.
Yeah,
them.
Or it could be a man.
Yeah.
Who also hates men. I don't know. Or maybe like when he killed them, he saw how big their junk was and he was like, man, fuck that. Hell no. And just yoink, ripped it off. So these are the possible victims. The Lady of the Lake, September 5th of 1934. The lower half of a woman's torso, thighs still attached, but amputated at the knees, washed up on shore of Lake Erie just east of Brentonall. A search of the area yielded a few other body parts, but not her head. She was found in the same spot as Jane Doe number 1, which is kind of why they're thinking this might be in addition to who we already know are connected. Both victims had some kind of chemical on their skin, which was believed to be lime chloride. It is believed that the killer meant to use a quickening lime to decompose the bodies faster, but used one that would actually preserve the bodies instead.
Dumbass.
Yeah, so he's good with anatomy, but not much else.
Apparently not. Unless that's the other person.
Well, maybe. So for right now, though, they're still just thinking it's just one person. Robert Robertson, on July 22nd of 1950, he was 41 when discovered at 2138 Davenport Avenue. The police believe he had been dead for about 6 to 8 weeks at that time and appeared to have been intentionally decapitated. So Black Dahlia, December... Huh?
My eyes twitching.
Oh. So the Black Dahlia, December of 1938, the torso murderer allegedly sent a letter to Ness claiming that he had moved to California and killed a woman and buried the head in Los Angeles. In the letter, the killer referred to himself as DC, or Doctor of Chiropractic, which is interesting because he is decapitating and removing limbs at the joints. People would know about the bones. Chiropractors would know about the bones. But an investigation of the area only uncovered animal bones, so it wasn't verified.
Haven't they not found her? I can't remember about her.
I don't think so. We'll cover her. Well, they found her.
Oh, yeah, they did.
But I don't know if they found her murderer.
No, they did not.
Yeah. A decade later, the quote-unquote confession resulted in authorities considering the possibility that the torso murderer had some connection to the Black Dahlia case.
But that's just, why would he just go to California for one murder, though?
Randomly, yeah. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's not probable.
Yeah, but still, it's like, why would you go somewhere else and do one murder and then come back?
Right. And it's probably just because he had heard of it and was like, this is what happened. I don't know if he wrote it before or after the case hit national news. It doesn't say, but if it was already out, he's probably like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and claim that one.
Yeah.
Because, it fit what he was already doing where he was. And it's, like I said, not out of the realm of possibilities, but going from Cleveland to Los Angeles to do one murder and then coming back just doesn't make sense.
And he's probably like, oh, someone else is getting really good fame. He's like, let me say it was me.
Yeah, right, exactly. Just like with Toole and Henry Lucas.
Yeah.
They claimed 200 and some odd murders, and they were only able to connect like 9 of them, 12 of them, something like that. So
yeah.
But for those unfamiliar with Black Dahlia, it was the bisected remains of 22-year-old Elizabeth Short. They were found in the unfinished Lemert Park housing development of Los Angeles on January 15th of 1947. Both Short and the torso murderer victims had been thoroughly cleaned after death, and a butcher knife was believed to have been used in both cases. However, Short was not decapitated, so it was just the torso with arms and head with her. Ultimately, there was no evidence to officially connect the two cases other than just being cut in half. What?
I was just saying what she was doing.
Being a brat.
Misha's not a brat.
Here she is. Between 1921 and 1942, 9 people, 8 of them identified, were found dead and dismembered in swamps around train yards near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They were called the murder swamp killings. They were almost identical to the Cleveland torso murders, both of which were connected by a Baltimore and Ohio railroad line, which was enough to convince Cleveland investigator Peter Marylow that the murders were related. So, yeah. It's a lot of people. Bodies are just stacking up. And here we go with the suspects.
Okay, give them to me.
Okay. One was, I don't think this guy did do it. I know he didn't do it. Frank Dolzel, a Bohemian bricklayer, was arrested August 24th of 1939. At that time, he was a 53-year-old Cleveland resident, and he was arrested by Sheriff Martin O'Donnell as a suspect in Polillo's murder, as he had lived with her for a short period of time and also had connections to Andrassy and Wallace. Wallace was the prostitute or the sex worker that they couldn't confirm it was her. Okay, his confession, quote-unquote, big fucking quote, consisted of a bewildering blend of incoherent ramblings and precise details, almost as if he had been coached. So his confession sounded a whole lot like he was being told what to say.
They did that a lot back then.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They do it now.
Oh, yeah. But they were like, really did it back then.
Yeah, and there were like no repercussions about it. Before he could go to trial, though, he was found dead in his cell under suspicious circumstances. Let me tell you. This man stood 5'8", and he was found hung from a hook that only stood 5'7" off the ground. He was an inch taller than this hook.
Yeah, that would not have... Nope. Mm-mm.
Gerber's autopsy revealed 6 broken ribs, all of which had been obtained while in the sheriff's custody.
That man beat him up.
He was beaten during his confession, before his confession, and while he was in prison.
Because being 5'8" and having a 5'7", why did it get hot all of a sudden? And a 5'7" hook, yeah, he would have been standing.
Exactly. He would have been an inch taller than the hook. There's no way.
No way.
No way.
It got really warm all of a sudden. What the hell?
He was later posthumously exonerated for any involvement in the Torso murders, though, so his name was cleared.
Fucking a better been.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so he for sure was not guilty. Now we're going to go on to the man, or at least part of a possible group of people who I believe is probably the likely one.
Because, yeah, that first one, no.
No, not him. So this guy was named Dr. Francis Edward Sweeney.
Sweeney Todd.
Murdering people, cutting their throats. I don't think he hit anybody, though. But he didn't put them in pies. He just killed them.
You never know. He could have.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Because they could
have
found some pieces.
You know, the pieces that they didn't find, maybe.
Could have been eating that.
Ugh. I don't like cannibal stuff. Cannibal stuff freaks me out.
And he's a doctor, so he would definitely know anatomy.
For sure. He was a veteran of World War I who was part of a medical unit that conducted, guess what?
It's the whole fucking unit.
No. Well, maybe. But guess what he was doing in the field while he was in combat? Take a wild fucking guess.
Cutting off limbs?
Yep. He conducted amputations in the field.
Oh, yeah, he definitely, he definitely know what he'd be doing.
But at one point, he suffered nerve damage from a gas attack. After the war, Sweeney became an alcoholic due to the PTSD, which that fucking sucks, no matter what.
That does.
From his warfare experience, and his alcoholism began in 1929. By 1934, his wife had said, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
Fuck this shit, I'm out. All of that could have made him go Lulu.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how it starts.
Yeah, so, like...
Hi, Misha.
These they're thinking the murder started in, like, the 1920s, but the confirmed quote-unquote ones were a short stretch in the 30s. What? And if... 1934, his wife left him. What is it, Meeps?
You need to go out? I don't have food for you, Mish.
She said, "Bitch, why not?"
I ate my food. You can't have my food.
Honey. Just knocking everything.
Give her a crunch.
I don't have anything.
You ran out of vegetables?
Oh, yeah.
ASMR moment.
Come here.
She loves them green beans.
ASMR with Misha. Taking a little bit of a breather. Hold on 1 second.
She said, "I'm walking away from the mic."
She walked away. Yeah. I'm gonna have to hold it and let her bite pieces off of it. Hold on, we're gonna do an ASMR with Misha.
Because Misha has to have her snack or she gets cranky. That was a good crunch she had.
Good girl. Did good. You did so good. Sweeney was personally interviewed by Ness. Before the interrogation, Sweeney was found to be so intoxicated that he was held in a hotel room for 3 days until he sobered up. Under questioning, Sweeney is said to have failed 2 very early polygraph machine tests administered by the polygraph expert Leonard Keeler. And Keeler told Ness that Sweeney was the culprit. Ness felt there was no chance of obtaining a successful prosecution as the evidence was largely circumstantial. but also maybe most importantly because Sweeney was the first cousin of one of Ness's political opponents, U.S. Congressman Martin L. Sweeney, who had hounded Ness about the failure to catch the killer. So Ness did not feel like if he went after this person that he would be successful because his cousin was a congressman. And you know how that usually works with family.
Oh, yeah. Back then, that really would have been like...
Now, shit. After Sweeney committed himself to a sanatorium for his alcoholism, where he remained for the rest of his life, the murders, guess what?
They stopped?
They stopped. Stopped.
It's him. I'm telling you.
I think so.
It's him.
Yep. When I was reading this, I'm like, this is just a fucking guy, man.
He's a doctor. He knows what he's doing. His wife leaving him, all that. He snapped and was like, I'm going on a freaking killing spree.
I think he was doing it probably before that, but then like it ramped up for a couple of years, where there were like those 12 people in like a 4-year span, But yeah, I think it's him. If not,
and if it stopped after he put himself in that place. Oh.
Right, exactly. I mean, there's so much stuff pointing to this being him, but they can never confirm it. We have an idea of a clue, but it is what it is. And here's some good news. In 2024, the Cuyahoga County, I know I'm saying that wrong. Sorry, guys, but that's just what it looks like to me. The County Medical Examiner's Office teamed up with the DNA Doe Project, which is a nonprofit organization specializing in forensic genealogy, to exhume some of the victims and use investigative genetic genealogy to identify them. So in 2024, they're trying to identify these people.
Well, that's good.
They began exhumation in July of 2024, so a year ago, with the goal of building genetic profiles and use genealogical methods to trace living relatives, hopefully if there are any, thereby restoring the victims' identities. The process has been challenging due to, the age of the remains, because these were from the 30s.
Yeah.
So, they're almost 100 years old.
Yeah.
The condition of the burial records, which a lot of them were destroyed or misplaced, quote unquote, and the fact that many victims were transient individuals with few connections to that area. Like, they just weren't born there. They didn't know a lot of people. However, advancements in DNA technology and genealogical research do offer hope for solving these decade-old mysteries. As of right now, though, none of the exhumed victims have been positively identified. But Sweeney fucking did it. Okay.
My eyes twitching.
Yeah. Like I said, that one was rough, especially because, there is no fucking conclusion. You can form your own opinion on what you think happened and who did it, but we're never gonna know.
So I have the Edgecomb County Killer,
and that sounds like it's also unfucking solved.
Yes.
How do we manage to pick
I don't know,
similar things every single time?
I have no idea.
I don't know either, because we just close our eyes and point at something, and that's what we're doing for that week. And
pretty much, yeah.
That's fate, I guess.
So, she is an unidentified serial killer in the surroundings of Edgecomb and Halifax counties in North Carolina.
We have a lot of North Carolina stories too. I think almost at least half of our stories.
We call it North Kakalaki.
Why? I've never heard that.
I don't know. That's what we just did when growing up. We call it North Kakalaki.
Okay.
Don't ask. It's a thing.
Okay.
Don't look at me like that.
Well, I mean, how else do you want me to look at you? I'm really fucking confused. I've never heard that before.
Because I'm not. Okay.
Okay.
So between 2003 and 2009, 11 women in and around Rocky Mount, North Carolina vanished.
11. Okay.
All but one would eventually be found murdered. Some were dumped near Seven Bridges Road, while others had been left in rural areas around Edgecomb and Halifax counties.
Well, I mean, I guess it's good that they found 10 of the 11 people. Yeah. Not that it's not good that they're deceased, but it's good that they at least found them.
Yeah.
Some kind of closure.
All the victims fit a similar profile. They were all black with a history of prostitution and or drug abuse.
Okay. So the people that are dying are derelicts of society, just like in the torso murders. Okay.
Some of the victims have been found in the Seven Bridges Road in Rocky Mount, so the culprit was also known as the Seven Bridges Killer.
Okay.
One man was arrested and convicted in the murder of only one of the victims, while the rest of the cases remain officially unsolved.
What?
Yes.
So, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to start with the victims.
Okay.
So Denise Williams, which I'm going to butcher half of these names, so I'm going to go ahead and apologize.
Yeah.
Because I'm bad with names. All right. Denise Williams is a 21-year-old mother of two. She earned a GED from Edgecomb Community College, and according to her family, she dreamed of pursuing a career in telecommunications.
Okay. When did this happen? What year?
I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
Her body was discovered floating in Koki Swamp, approximately 5 miles southeast of Rocky Mount in 2013.
Okay. I know exactly where that's at. Just kidding. I have no fucking clue.
I'm about to say, you
I have no
lie.
idea.
You lying.
I know where the Rocky Mountains are.
Yes, you know that, but not. Okay. And then second victim, Melody Wiggins, 29-year-old who had a son named Joshua.
Oh, these all had babies.
Majority of them, yes. Well, like, I think only like 2 or 3 or 4, I think.
Okay.
Her decomposed remains were found in rural Edgecomb County on June 2nd, 2005. Her boyfriend had reported her missing just 3 days earlier, and she had been killed by blunt force trauma to the head and has suffered several stab wounds.
Oh.
And then we have Christine Mary Boone, who was a 43-year-old who was reported missing by family on January 16th, 2007.
Oh, so these were recent.
Yes, this is in like 2000s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was like
No,
old.
these were all 2000s.
Okay.
But it would be another 3 years before her skeletal remains were discovered in a wooded area in Scotland Neck, North Carolina on March 9th, 2010.
Oh, wow. I wonder if Pazuzu Algarad did these.
Maybe.
North Carolina. That was around the time.
That's not the same area.
Like he couldn't travel. It's North Carolina. It's not like North Carolina versus fucking California. I'm just kidding. I know it's not Pazuzu. I was just saying.
Her cause of death could not be determined.
What?
Because it was 3 years, so they couldn't really determine.
Oh, because it was skeletons. Right. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. And then next we have Jackie Nicolia Thorpe, a 30 or 35-year-old who enjoyed writing poetry and playing bingo.
Oh.
Her boyfriend was in prison at the time she went missing.
So it wasn't him.
Wasn't him. She expressed a desire to attend community college and better her life.
Oh, at 35.
Yes.
Bless her.
Her body was found on August 17th, 2007, behind a house on Seven Bridges Road, the first victim to be discovered in that vicinity. Her remains were too decomposed to establish the cause of death.
Oh. God, that sucks so bad.
Yeah, a lot of them, they couldn't figure out what happened. Next, we have Joyce Renee Durham, a 46-year-old who was last seen in Rocky Mount on June 17th, 2007. Her brother-in-law reported her missing and pointed police in the direction of drug areas that she reportedly frequented. Her body, though, was never found.
Oh, so she was the one of the 11.
Yes.
Oh, that's so sad.
And then we have Ernestine Battle. She was a 50-year-old who had previously worked for a cable company.
What is happening? He started in his 20s and he's like getting older. Like every person's been older.
They're all like different. They're all different ages. Like there was no
consistency. It's stressing me out because London was born in 2007, and to think this kind of stuff was happening when my kid was born.
Yes,
I don't like it.
She was interested in makeup and fashion, but she turned to prostitution later in life to support her crack habit.
Oh, okay.
She vanished in February 2008, and her body would be found near Seven Bridges Road by a farmer on March 14th of the same year. And then her remains were too badly decomposed to establish cause of death.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then we have Yolanda Renee Lancaster, who is a 36-year-old who was a mother of two, and was described by those who knew her as kind and intelligent. Her skeletal remains were later discovered off Seven Bridges Road by hunters in January 2011.
What?
Her cause of death was unknown.
Wait, so what? From 2007, nothing until 2011?
Well, they didn't really put any. They didn't put any of this in order.
Oh,
so it's all kind of.
Oh, okay. I was like, that's a long break.
Yeah, no, it was between 2003 and 2009. But then
she was found in 2011.
She was found in 2011.
So 6 years he was killing people.
Pretty much.
Somebody was killing people.
Pretty much.
Okay.
And then we have Elizabeth Jane Smallwood, who was a 33-year-old who was described by a friend as having been a very nice person.
Aww.
But many aspects of her life and background remain a mystery. And she was no longer in contact with her family, so she was never reported missing.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Her body was found close to a soccer field near the Nash-Edgecomb County line.
A soccer field where I'm sure kids play.
Pretty much.
Oh, Jesus.
And experts believe that it may have been there for up to a year before being discovered.
Oh, my God.
And she was also the sister of serial killer Robert Smallwood.
What?
Yeah. So he strangled three women to death in Lexington, Kentucky from 1999 to 2006. But yeah, that was his sister.
And he was arrested at this time, though, right?
Yes.
Like he was incarcerated?
Yes.
So it couldn't have been him?
No.
Okay.
But yeah, that was that. Yeah, they made a note to put that was his sister.
Okay. Mind blown.
I'm about to butcher the rest of these names. Taraha Shanice Nicholson was a 28-year-old who was a mother of one. She had gone to rehab in the past, trying to recover from her addiction for the sake of her son, but unfortunately was unable to. Shortly before her murder, she expressed a desire to get clean and quit sex work.
Oh.
She was reported missing on February 22nd, 2009, and was found dead on March 7th of that year near Seven Bridges Road.
Okay, hold on. So I know you said all of the women that were found were like on drugs. Were they all sex workers also, or did it really say?
Yes. They were all with a history of prostitution and or drug abuse.
Oh, either or. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And then her autopsy revealed her cause of death to be strangulation.
Okay, so we've got, 2 people now who actually have a cause of death?
Yes.
Okay, out of 12? No, 11?
11.
Good job, police office.
And Jarnice LaTanya Hargrove was a 31-year-old who loved to write and perform rap songs.
Oh, I love it.
She also adored bright colors, which inspired her nickname Sunshine.
Oh my God.
She was reported missing on April 25th, 2009. But her body wasn't discovered until June 29th in a wooded area just a few yards away from Seven Bridges Road.
So the same year.
Same year.
Okay.
Her remains were too badly decomposed
in 3 weeks
to determine her cause of death. Apparently.
You said June 6th she was reported missing, right? And then
April 25th was missing.
April.
Yes.
So 2 months. Okay. I thought you said June 6th. I'm like, she was found the 29th. That's 23 days later. How was she that decomposed?
Yeah, no, she was decomposed.
Oh.
But they suspected strangulation.
Okay.
And then we have Roberta Williams. She was a 40-year-old who was a mother of 3. She worked as a cleaner in a taxi station before turning to sex work. She was reportedly homeless at the time she disappeared. And a man riding an ATV happened upon her remains by the side of Seven Bridges Road on March 27th, 2010. Oh. And her family was adamant that they had filed a missing persons report, and law enforcement has refuted this claim because of cause of death was not released.
What? Don't smile at me. What?
So her family was like, we filed a missing persons report. And the police was like, no. But then they finally were like, oh yeah, you did. But the cause of death was not released.
I am confusion.
I was confused.
Yeah. I hope it wasn't one of the situations where the police had these missing person reports, and because of their past history with drugs or sex work, they just didn't do anything quickly enough.
Yeah.
I mean, especially this one. Like, the other ones didn't mention that, but this one was like...
Yeah, the family's like, oh, no, we did a missing persons report.
and y'all did nothing about it, and now you're telling me that it didn't happen, but then now you're saying it did. Ugh.
Yeah.
Fucking, where is this at? North Carolina. Fucking North Carolina, man. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll be up there in a few weeks.
Don't die. Don't get murdered by that person, because they're still around. This was not that long ago. 18 years.
I don't remember. I was in school during all this.
I don't like it.
And so Dr. Michael Teague was a criminal psychologist, and he came up with a profile for the unidentified 7 Bridges of Edgecomb County serial killer. So his profile, based on the belief that serial killers usually target victims of their own race, a black man in his late 20s to the early 30s, fairly bright but not highly educated, a loner, someone with a personal connection to the Rocky Mount 7 Bridges Road area, likely a local or someone who had lived around there at some point, a disorganized killer, a murderer characterized by unorganized and spontaneous acts of violence, likely has a history of drug abuse and or criminal record. Is the profile he came up with.
Okay. And they couldn't connect anybody to that?
We have one suspect.
Okay.
So the only useful forensic evidence that they were able to obtain came in the form of semen found on Tariah Nicholson's body.
Okay, so you didn't mention it, but were these 11 women also sexually assaulted before they were murdered? It never
said.
Oh, okay. Well, this one obviously would have been.
Well, I don't think she was, like, sexually assaulted. I think they, like, because she was a prostitute. She was a sex worker.
Well, I know, but is the semen, quote unquote, supposed to be the killers, or?
That's who they're going with.
Then she would have probably have been sexually assaulted.
I don't know. It didn't say.
Okay.
So DNA analysis led them to a local man named Antoine Pittman, who was 31 years old.
Okay.
They arrested him in 2009 and charged him with her murder.
Okay.
All right. So here is his little backstory.
Okay. Hold on. Let me get situated. I need to be ready for this.
So he was born on July 15th, 1978 to 18-year-old single mother Gloria. He spent a few years living with his grandparents in Whitakers, North Carolina, just a few miles away from the rural stretch of 7 Bridges Road. He would go on to amass a lengthy criminal record, which included assault, larceny, and trespassing convictions. He's also a registered sex offender.
He sounds like a good fucking option to me.
Who was arrested for the attempted rape of a toddler years earlier.
A toddler?
A toddler.
Oh my fucking God. What? Okay.
Breathe, Lauren, breathe.
I'm stressed.
I know.
I'm like real fucking stressed right now.
Years earlier, but was ultimately convicted of a lesser charge as part of a plea deal.
They should not be allowed a lesser plea deal when it is a violent crime against children.
Yes.
Angry.
Breathe, Lauren, breathe. He has a history of drug abuse as well.
Okay.
He admitted to soliciting Tariah and meeting her in a hotel room for sex, and he maintained that he dropped her off near the public library in Rocky Mount afterwards, unharmed, and never saw her again. Go ahead and say it. I know you gotta say something.
I'm angry.
Okay.
Because that's how it all... Oh, I had sex with her, but then I left her somewhere safe, and she was fine. No, that's always the fucking excuse. Oh... I'm okay.
So Gloria Pittman was hesitant to speak about her son's upbringing when asked about it, but nevertheless indicated that she believes in his innocence. I don't really have much to say about it. I will say I don't believe he did it. I don't care what evidence they have. I can't believe my son could do that.
Okay, just because you don't believe it can happen doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah. So, but he couldn't forensically be linked to any of the other victims. Law enforcement felt confident that they finally had their serial killer. And it was revealed during the trial that he had known at least 2 of the other victims, Ernestine Battle and Denise Williams. He also frequented the 7 Bridges Road area. All right, Lauren, okay, you can speak.
Just keep going.
Okay. And had previously occupied a residence close to where the body of Elizabeth Smallwood was discovered. He had also lived in a trailer in Scotland Neck near the Woodford area where Christine Boone's skeletal remains were located. And multiple sex workers familiar with Pittman testified that he had become threatening towards them in the past. The murders did stop after his arrest.
Oh my fucking God. That's the goddamn dude.
It's like Sweeney.
That's the fucking dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Wait. Was he convicted of the murder of her?
Of Taraya, yes, but everyone else, no.
I don't like that one. I'm really fucking stressed out right now. Do you have more?
September 28th, 2011, after less than an hour of deliberation, a jury found him guilty of first-degree murder in the death of Taraya Nicholson.
Good.
He was sentenced to life in prison without parole.
Good.
And he sobbed in the courtroom saying, "You all are sending an innocent man to prison for life."
No, the fuck they're not.
The cases of 10 of the victims are still open and remain officially unsolved.
No. I just solved them. He did it.
I mean, if it stopped after he got arrested and he was pretty much could be linked to everything,
yeah,
he did it.
I mean, circumstantial evidence is still fucking evidence.
Like, he lived in a house near one of the, like...
Knew several of the victims.
Like, he could be linked to literally all of them.
Yeah, with circumstantial evidence. Yeah. Some cases have been won on less than what they have on this person.
Well, he got life in prison. So.
I don't care. I'm real fucking stressed because that's 10 people whose family have no answers.
Exactly. We need cake.
We need cake. This is stressing me the fuck out. Oh my God.
Because yours was stressful, mine was stressful. We need cake.
Yours was more stressful for me than mine was.
I could tell.
Yeah, like...
Yours made me stressed.
I mean, this guy was linked to that. This guy was linked to that. He lived here. He frequented here. The fucking sex workers said he became abusive with them, which is why I asked, was she assaulted?
It never said if
it
they
couldn't
were not.
say, but I would assume probably so, considering. Oh, that makes me sick to my fucking stomach. And it's not the medicine this time. I feel heartbroken for those families because they probably believe that it's this man too, but there's nothing that they can do about it.
Exactly.
And it's not like it was done in the 1930s where DNA wasn't a thing.
No, it's recent.
Yeah, it's so fucking recent.
I was in school during all this.
Yeah, I was not.
But
my daughter, I had my daughter.
Let's see, what years did I say?
2003 to 2009. Okay, so I was in school. I was in school for 2 of those years, 2003 and 2004. And then I went to college briefly and quit.
I was elementary school, middle school.
I was married with a kid during this. So I got married in 2005 and London was born in 2007.
We're not counting that marriage.
We're not, but the point is, like, whatever. Ugh. Stressful.
I'm switching.
Yeah. So thank you guys if you were able to get through that, because these were very, very difficult for us to talk about today. Man. Okay. Well, we do thank you for being here today with us. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/haunted and homicidal. You can visit our Patreon at patreon.com/haunted and homicidal. We will eventually have a website, I promise.
Slowly but surely.
Eventually. I work full time. I've got kids and I just don't have the time to put into looking for the right one right now. So hopefully soon. Because like to have somebody do it's like $400 and I can't justify that right now. So that is what our Patreon is going to be for. If you guys want us to have a website, please donate.
Please.
Obviously, when you guys are listening to this, leave comments if you want to, but only if they're nice, because I'm not going to tolerate mean ones. Okay, thank you.
No bullies.
No bullies. I mean, we're not for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with that. I've got to be okay with that. I'm okay with that in my personal life. I am not for everybody, and I know it, and I do not give a flying fuck. The right people come to me. Point blank, period. Okay, bye. Bye.